Super programski blok je pred nami in sicer razglasitev in pa pogovor z P2 SK mentorjema. Kot sem že v uvodoma povedal, smo vas v prijavnici za ta program nekako podjetnike poprašali, katerega mentorja, mentorico bi izbrali v ta žlahtni zbor. Vsi ste se odzvali, mislim, da smo prejeli preko 50 odgovorov in največ glasov sta prejela Mayfield in Maja Voje, ki sta danes tudi z nami, z vami, da poklepetamo in seveda odločite, kdo pa je tisti, ki bo si prislužil ta žlahtni naziv P2 SK mentor 2019-2020. Zaenkrat pa predno odpremo glasovanje, pa pozdravljam Meta in Majo na tem virtualnem odru. Met in Maja, dobrodošla in pozdravljena.
Ja, živijo, lep pozdrav vsem, jaz sem navdušena, da sem danes z vami, kakšne super prezentacije imate, vse nadaljevali bomo verjetno v angleškem jeziku, ampak v vsakem primeru sem ful vesela, da vidim tukaj številne poznane obraze in vedno več nas je, vedno bolj delamo, to je to.
Hvala Maja, hvala, da si vzela čas kljub temu, da morda nisi pri najboljšem zdravju, ampak slišati si dobro.
Ne, Urban, zdaj sem že bistveno bolj. Zakaj? Zato, ker smo čez noč prodali za 120 jurjev enega naprave prednaročila, pa še danes prvič treniram eno podjetje, ki je dobilo milijon investicij. Tako da bronhitis je preteklo, zdaj smo in it to win it.
Bravo, odlično. Matt, hi and welcome to our 30-minute chat. How are you? Matt, I think you are muted or we don't hear you. He's not muted, he just... yeah, I think we hear you now.
Okay, good. Yeah, doing well.
All right, so both of you were the highest ranked mentors in this voting. So first question would be, what are your feelings to be nominated from so many companies?
Well, I'm thrilled. I wanted first though, and I think if I learned Slovene better, I probably could take first. So I need studying. But no, I'm quite honored. This is a really good group. The companies I've been involved with have been very good about moving and taking action and doing something, and I think that's really what makes this so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Maja?
Cool. I'm humbled and I'm celebrating this achievement. Why? Because it's never ours per se. Like, this is not mentors' work. This is the work that we do together with teams. It's always a two-way street. So it takes two to tango in simple words, and it takes one hell of a strong ecosystem to support this tango, to enable this dance floor. So I definitely don't consider it to be anything to do with individual thingies. No. It's a sum factor of all the factors that were done so amazingly together. And nevertheless, the very last thing that I really to emphasize is that it is not just about us. It's not about who are we here today on a stream. It's about creating a vast knowledge base, an excellent ecosystem for the future entrepreneurs, and something new, something that infuses our economy with innovation. And I haven't practiced this speech, so that went pretty well.
Thanks, amazing. So, my first question will be, so for all of you, please, for entrepreneurs that are here, please vote. The results are hidden, right? So we will disclose the results at the end of this chat, but please vote. At the moment there are 8 votes, so I expect at least 60 of them, so please step up. So first question would be, and I'm referring to Matej Potokar, the ex chief of operation of Microsoft here in Slovenia and also in broader region. He said at the first, let's say, kickoff event for the mentors, he said that the mentor is learning as much as the mentee. Matt and Maja, do you agree with that this is a totally synchronized and two-way process?
Well, so first of all, Matt is buying me a dinner if he happens to win today, because I would love to meet him as well. That's kind of a public promise right now, already arranged. But yeah, that was like one of the statements that were very much near and dear to me as well. Why? Entrepreneurs are like amazing human beings, and as consultants and somebody who is like fierce on certain expertise, it's incredible to see the amount of information and responsibilities that entrepreneurs have. And I just had this beautiful case right now this season when Corona hit the town. One of my mentorees like completely had to close their office, so their physical office, and we built an online course together. Within the first month, they managed to generate 40K revenue, which is fantastic. That's a really good result for them without any heavy investment in marketing. And it's humbling and deeply fulfilling to see like what type of a difference can you do if you work together, but we don't do the work. We are here to help, to guide, but seeing these successes, seeing these journeys, that's deeply inspirational for the larger board of companies that I'm working with. So it's definitely this multiple factory of innovation and interference of that. Again, not in isolation, but in co-creation.
Thank you. Matt?
I have a proper addiction. It's a real problem. I love working with startups and the energy and the learning, you know, just every new industry. I learn faster, more concentrated than anything else. Unfortunately, it's hard to string up enough work. I've tried in a couple different ways to string enough work together to actually make a living off of supporting startups. But boy, I need it. And I do a day job just so that I can do this in the afternoons.
It keeps you young, isn't it? And like always alert.
It is. It's totally real, right? I mean, and the energy level, again, you know, the thing you want to do, I mean, when you're dealing with somebody who just runs into it, right? Just half the, none of the skills, none of the money, none of the experience, and just slams into it. And then you together figure out what's plan B. That's just so much fun, especially when I'm eating.
Amazing. So tell me, this addiction. So as I already said, so the first, you know, step to cure is that you confess the addiction. So hi, Matt, and welcome. There are quite a few of us that are addicted to this, you know, startup, and that's why, you know, I think the ecosystem and everything is so flourishing. So tell me, do you have so you are one of the most wanted mentors. So you're basically always full. And unless you don't, you know, cancel any, you know, mentorship, you basically can accept additional one, at least in this, you know, Slovenian enterprise found mentorship scheme. But tell me, you know, what are your criteria? So let's say that on base you choose, you know, which company you work with, because you get, you know, so many requests, I could imagine.
Yeah, so I think a couple things. So single biggest factor is, are you a doer or a talker? And that, you know, what I type, and it's interesting because both Maja and I are on the business development side, right? That tends to be the weakness of most startups, but especially here in Slovenia. So whoever it is that I'm going to work with, they're at a complete disadvantage that they don't have the skills and the experience in that area. And their learning curve is going to be steep and painful and hard. And so if there's this, I'm a doer, I'm going to go out there and just go get a punch in the nose and come back again, then I'm all in. Even if it's something silly like, you know, we're going to do cosmetics for men, or really anything. And I think the secondary consideration for me is I'm an engineer at heart. I have great sympathy for it. So I love a cool use case and a cool product. You know, something with manufacturing always turns me on. Somebody, you know, just always just something that turns me on in that space. But first and foremost is we're going to do something together.
Cool. Maja, the same question.
Yeah, that was extremely well said. Thanks so much for sharing this, Matt, with such an enthusiasm and passion. Good to know what turns you on. That was such a good wording. But definitely, like in terms of intellectually turning on and just like keeping alert, it's very important to have traction, right? Because at the end of the day, both a mentor and a mentoree have to be happy about the results. And my first criteria is that they are able to set up goals. So I am asking them to set up like 3 or 4 objectives. What would they like to achieve in the next quarter? If they are unable to do that, if they don't have a vision, how the success look like, then we're gonna have a problem. And that's very important to articulate, so we both agree how the success look like. A little bit contrary to Matt, because I'm like under very, very, very huge pressure to deliver each and every single time with the types of companies that are contacting me. So these are companies who would like to scale and go to market strategy, and often like being successful is not an option because it's their tears, blood, money, and everything. So that's something that I am a little bit concerned with from the beginning on. If they don't know how to sell this idea to me, then in 1 quarter, like we can probably not do the complete revamp of positioning. So I am like searching for guys and girls who would have to have this drive and determination, and what Matt was saying before, the ability to execute, but definitely they should have solid fundamentals. Product market fit is quite important in the stage that I'm active at. Last but not least, I love people from non-central regions. I have a company now from Bela Krajina, a company from Koroška, and I'm not saying that it is easy to do in Maribor or Ljubljana. It's never easy. I'm working with Silicon Valley companies, and they are like even fascinated the stuff and the knowledge that is being shared here. But the fact is that coming from an environment which is not like who we are today, like the bunch of people who has this tech vision and tech drive and innovation driven, but an individual who managed to struggle through an environment that is completely not in his or her favor, that for me is a winner per se. So however far from Ljubljana you live, more likely it is that we are going to be a very, very, very good friends.
Well, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. So last maybe question, or for last, is you also sometimes say no to someone, and what are the, let's say, key reason for that you say no to someone? Okay, so of course I think closely related to what you say, to what you have already answered. So why you say yes, but are there any additional reasons why you say no to someone? And yeah, let's quickly elaborate on that. Matt.
Okay, I think 2 things. So one is, I think the ethics of what we're doing is very important to me. I'm into the idea that business builds society, and it actually has something important. So I'm really not interested in doing somebody's initial coin offering to go leverage addictive, social network tools. It just doesn't turn me on. And I think that the second thing is somebody won't listen. I'm good. I let them go for a while. We'll have a couple conversations. We'll do a couple rounds. But if you're not listening in the first 10 minutes, I start to move on.
Great, thanks.
I have a little bit different perspective here because I have been working with sport betting a lot, with Bitcoin. That's, I won't say not a problem to me. I, of course, have this healthy perception of what is like good for humanity and what is not. But at the end of the day, my friends, I'm drinking alcohol, I'm smoking a little bit, and like how I spend money is completely my choice. And what we sell to adult people is their choice as well. So I'm not like that determined to the vertical that I'm working with. I love challenging industries that have forbidden advertising everywhere, and you have to be very innovative about that. But I am very allergic about lying. So I hate when people come to me and they are misrepresenting their numbers. They are misrepresenting how far along are they with a deal, because setting up expectations and goals is really everything. We have to have a vision how the success look like in in order to deliver. Other than that, I am a little bit sensitive, and that's like hard learned from the business practice about what we already said before. That's like the velocity of experimentation and just like speed of delivery. Because if we like go on a meeting every week and we are discussing the same old things, not shit is getting done. And this is not how legends are born. This is not how unicorns are made. This is not, this is just like burning startups money. So that's another red alert that I get whenever promises are not delivered. If somebody is committing towards something and they are not delivering, they will have a problem with me.
Cool. Thanks. Are you, so you're both addicted to officially addicted to startups, right? So, how you stay away from starting your own startup if you are so addicted? So, or how is that thing?
You know, it's always been a question of whether I just haven't found the right startup or whether I just don't have what it takes to make the full commitment to, you know, live with heroin daily. I am doing a bit of that right now with the Barthletic startup. So I am part of the startup team, and I am, you know, tasting some gateway drugs. I don't know, maybe these are some opiates of the smaller level, but we'll see if I get fully deep into it. I just love hanging around the scene and being part of it. You know, I guess I'm I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I'm not into it. You know, it wasn't an exposure to me younger in life, and it's to me now.
So tell me, so Barthletic, so it's something connected with bars and athletics. So this is, you know, it looks like it's a perfect, you know, Slovenian startup. So we like bars, so we like, you know, sports. So it's a perfect combination. So
here's the irony. I don't play games and I don't watch sports and I don't even spend that much time in bars. So I'm the cynic of the group, and the games are oriented towards me. And of course, you know, when we start talking about the addictive natures, the hair on the back of my neck starts going up. But we're gonna make this work, and this is one of these go for the unicorn or be a smoky mess at the back end. And right now, you know, Boštjan Troha is the originating founder, ex-Zootfly. We've got the right recipe and seem to be going well.
Cool. Maja, same question.
Yeah. Did you happen to get inspired for this question by the podcast that we recorded together, or is that your own?
No.
All right, so that's a common one then. All right, so in my case, the thing is a little bit different. I'm a cyberpunk by nature. That's why I love dangerous industries, I love funky people, I love developers, and I am addicted to innovation. And for me, like the forum of innovation and where the cool things happen have nothing to do with how old, how big, and how like identified the companies. It's all about the teams. I'm working with corporates, I'm working with venture capital funds, I'm working with companies from Silicon Valley, and I'm searching for energy. I'm searching for drive to deliver. I'm searching for the impact that we can do. And there is another aspect to it. I love to disrupt industry by sharing knowledge, open source. The communities that we are building are phenomenal. And for me, like this knowledge should spread. And I wouldn't say like a virus, because that would be a very wrong thing to say these days. But it shouldn't be fragmented in a certain vertical. It's up, it's there, it's like the property of everybody. So it's all about how do you utilize it, and who does the utilization is a secondary concern to me.
Cool. So before we go to the really last question, just one last shout out to all of them that didn't cast their vote. So please vote for Maja or for Matt. So at the moment we have 29 votes. So I think we have still some potential in it. And the last question would be, so for both of you, what is the one thing or one personal characteristics or one property of, you know, entrepreneur that in your eyes makes them, you know, successful? So it could be only one thing. So what would you, based on your experience, point out that, you know, it's separating, you know, the unicorn material from an ordinary one? We'll start with Maja this time.
Cool. I just spent 3 days with one of my customers. So it's EKWB, Ivercooling Water Blocks, very respected member community as well. And it was a wonderful 3 days of amazing speeches, international knowledge sharing, and just like pay attention, bold visions. We ended the summary by watching a biography movie by Arnold Schwarzenegger, who was reluctant to stay in Austria, be a farmer, and determined to become a world-class bodybuilder and a kick-ass politician. And that's it. It's the vision, it's the clarity of an image that we have for our future, and later on, determination, teams, tools and processes that will take us there. But if you don't have a clear vision, if you don't know how does it look like, success look like, then it's impossible to do it. I'm sorry.
Cool. So I said ask you for one thing. So
it's vision. Vision.
Okay.
I'm going to go the opposite direction, and it's something I didn't really notice till the last couple of years, which is almost everybody that I know that really made something big and proper and big numbers and big success. There was always a period in which if they pulled me aside and said, Matt, should I shut this thing down? I would have said, yes, absolutely. And so would half the advisors here. And they just had this stupid, bullheaded drive through it. Every single one of the big successes here in Slovenia have had that moment of it should probably be put to sleep and you have to just drive through it. So there's this bullheaded, irrational stubbornness that has to be there.
Cool. So it's stubbornness, right? So, and this is also something to do with the Austrian oak, as they called Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So that he was stubborn as hell.
Determined to do it, yeah. And I think that these fields are like completely determined because you have to have this vision in order to leverage so much willpower and determination in terms of work to do this. It's a fountain of these efforts. But I do agree, like saying no to knowers is a big thing, of course.
Cool. Thank you for this interesting 30 minutes. It could be extended to the whole 3 days. Love that with you. Thank you, Matt and Maja. Stay with us. So now, before we close this and before we reveal the results, I would like to ask all of you to unmute your microphones, because we'll give the winner a big applause, a virtual applause, but we want to hear you. So unmute your microphones, all of you, please. Okay, so we can hear you. And
Hi.
This will be
This
will be prepared. Lower the volume of your.
Oh my God, we don't.
Hey.
Okay. Are you ready, Matt, to reveal the result?
Good.
Okay. We have now 36 votes, okay, and 37, okay, and I will 38, okay, the vote is still going up, so I will reveal them in results in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there is.
So Maja, this means I pay for dinner.
All right, that's great. That's great. I'm very, very happy to hear that. Looking forward to it.
Thank you for your voting, and congratulations, Matt, for really great and well deserved, and keep you both on our ship, for a long time as time to go. You're all great. The feedback on both of you is great, as well as all the other mentors that are part of this family.
Yeah, everybody is amazing. Like, we should all appreciate their efforts as well.
And we'll all should go for a big, right? Matt, maybe before we close, final words. So you are the first awarded P2 and SK mentor of 2020. So please, a few closing words.
Well, I mean, it's been a long, hard campaign, and
were you nominated yesterday too?
and I hope you'll appreciate my actions as I start to make decisions over the next year and form my committee.
Cool. Thank you very much. Congratulations to you, to Maja, and to all the mentors that are really giving this community a really good vibe and speed and knowledge that it deserves. So